beautiful celestial creature flying up into the sky. So we're starting with the left foot. We're going to step up left foot, right foot, and start to raise the fan. Left foot, right foot. And I want to go back to the left foot. Raise the left arm. And here, pull the right foot back past the left and open up your heart. And this is where you send that energy out, forward, and then return to your neutral stance. And now we're going to be talking about the sky we're going to. So we're going to turn the right arm over like this as we pull the right foot back. Left foot goes back past the right. I'm going to point up. And we're going to end pointing at about eye level with the fan. And we want the very tip of the fan to be what we're pointing with. And the arm can be stretched out. Yeah, we don't want it to go straight like this, but we can go forward. Yeah, good, okay, good. Relax the arm. Questions? And the reason I'm going to teach you this is because, recognize it or not, the ghost, what came out with the big halberd, did exactly the same movements. It's just, it's a little bit bigger and a little more exaggerated to get different energy to it. Same moves though.
When you are transferring the weight between your feet, how are you doing that to make it as smooth as possible?
Keep your weight forward. Always forward. And that's the big thing, the string pulling you forward from your heart. As you come forward, left, right. So the weight transfer happens pretty naturally that way. And then as you go back, keep that string going forward and pull back with the left foot so you're in a slight lunge. But notice that the front plane of my body is still even. So here, and then back with the right foot, keeping, again, the front plane of the body even. And you can see I can only go about this far because of my kimono. That's all the distance you need. You don't need to do much because you want to be lifting from the heart. And the arms, instead of pulling them straight back to the side, keep them forward. Because you are a dainty, you are still a beautiful ephemeral spirit. And the point isn't so much about opening up and getting the body access to do their flash dance, but this is about letting the soul release from the heart. And often when I dance, I keep my eyes closed because you might not be able to tell from the mask. The mask is so much smaller than the human face. And the eye holes sit about here on the face, and they're about this big. So like I can see the bottom of your feet, and that's it. Like so, and I've got two of these. So my whole range of vision is basically this tiny little set way there. So most professionals keep their eyes closed while they dance because there's no point using them. There, so we're here, we go open, and then return back to neutral. And then the same thing, because we're going to try and express something in front of us while going backwards, keep that weight forward as you go back, left, or so right, left, and point into the sky. And this one, we can make this a nice big part. Imagine you have a paintbrush here, and you are painting a big curve through the sky. So the arm actually does go back, slightly behind the plane of the body. The costume will restrict it a bit, but for now, practice big. Up and over, and stop. Find that nice point, eye level, good. And be careful about reaching forward with the shoulder. We really want the whole activation to come just from the shoulder joint here. So back and forward. Rather than this. I'm over-exaggerating for effect, but often we end up kind of turning the entire body as we try to point. Just keep it from just here. And just think about what it is that you're expressing. The text is largely irrelevant at this point. This is about expressing a thought or a feeling rather than any specific action. Questions? We're going to do that again. So, just right here. We're going to go forward, starting from the heart, forward. Right. And back with the left foot, raise the left arm. Back with the right foot, open the heart. Hands together. And now back with the right foot, turn the right arm over. Back with the left foot, point high in the sky. Right foot comes to even, motion hands. So there's that sense. The opposite side of that, and now I'm actually going to need to tuck up my knee just so I can move my legs enough. The opposite side of that is what that ghost warrior is doing. There are three kinds of old people, demons. There's three specific bases for characters in Uno. There's the spirit of the elderly, the spirit of the demon, and
Baby spirit.
It's not baby spirit.
Lady spirit.
Women are considered to be an extension of the spirit of the elderly. And warriors are extensions of the demon. Can't remember, sorry. Either way, we get that very calm, very sort of calm, uplifting feeling you can get from like the angel, or from the demon in this case, or from the ghost. Now, we're going to keep our feet turned out, and we are going to put a little bit more space between our feet, because we need that nice wide sense. The Kamae, again, forward from the heart, back from the hips, down, up, and the arms are going to be a little bit wider on this one. And to symbolize that we're using a stick, flip the fan over and grab the paper of the fan, keep the points down. This is now the blade of the naginata that guy is carrying. And on this one, as we come forward, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. We're actually going to end in a lunge this way, with the right foot significantly ahead of the left and pointed. This is still technically considered the same movement as this. It's just we're trying to express a different energy, a different dynamism. So let's go ahead and do that, those 4 steps together. 1, 2, 3, 4, and lunge point. And really, you actually can at this point open up the hip, get a little more action, good. And then when we go back on this one, we're going to go back with the left slightly as we raise the left arm. And now I'm actually going to twist my hips, because when I go back with the right foot, I'm actually going to pull it all the way back and open my right hip. And so my left arm is still curved. You don't want to, this isn't about pulling an arrow, it's still here. So more or less my body's still doing this. It's just now at an angle. And the weight is more on my left foot than on my right. Yeah, good. And then as we come back to Kamae, we're going to bring everything, or so back to neutral stance, everything is back here. And then as we do the point, we're going to be thinking about stabbing something or slashing something in front of us. So this one, it's bigger, and then much more violent action up and over. And this one, I think it doesn't. This one doesn't facing full point. So from here, we go back, right, left, and that's together. And now we really do get that sense of rotation on the hips, because again, we're trying to make ourselves bigger, a little bit more aggressive. Let's try that one more time. So from here, we're going to step forward and we're going to lunge. Left, right, and stab.
So we only do that lunge at the very end?
I start the lunge on the 3rd step. Left, right. But you really want to make sure that there's a sense of popping, of power and thrust on that 4th step. Ideally, the arm motion and the foot motion arrive at the same time. But I'm not going to stress that too much. You just really want this sense of stab, outward energy is what we're going for. Good. And with that Kamae, really take a chance to stretch those arms down. Let them be a little bit longer. Imagine that your arms, since your arms are actually carrying a pole, you want that sense that your arms are like poles themselves, very long and linear. Good. Let's go ahead and take that again. 4 steps. Left, right, and thrust. And back with the left, raise the left arm. Back with the right, open those hips. Good. And conclude. And then left or right arm goes over, but right foot goes back. Left arm, or left foot goes back. Feet together. Questions? What I want to do now is take a moment to listen to what is it that your body wants to express. What is it that you inside, because often when we are talking with trans artists or non-binary artists, there's that moment of dysphoria, where what is on the outside does not match what the inside is telling you it needs to do. So what I want to find out is what is the inside telling you it wants to say? And using these 3 movements, just the ones that we've already used, what changes do you need to make to that, to let that inner self out, to let that inner self speak? How can you use those 3 movements as words to let your spirit say something? And think about that for a second. You feel free to play around with it, take some time to figure out what you want to do. And there can be adjustments if your neutral stance needs to change a little bit. If you need to put a hand somewhere different, you can start combining theatrical styles, right? Feel free to, but just play around with it. Getting the idea of how you perform gender. Just making the last exercise. inner explorations, think about that mindfulness of what is the body saying in response to what you want, what your spirit wants to say. Is there a way to find a harmonization between them, or is the conflict between what you want to actually talk about? How can you keep control over what the physical body is doing when the spirit speaks? So we get that sense of stability and collected energy, a controlled energy. So it's not just frantic running, frantic going, even though that might be what you are trying to express. What are ways that we make sure we do that with stillness and with control? So we have that sense of grounding and power. Keep playing. You can play with the size of the gate. You can play with the way that the feet move. You could play with perhaps the height at which things occur. Variations, theme and variation, right? So if you really wanted to keep things more down, you can do that too. Find ways to utilize the form in a way that speaks for you. Cues around there, so. Does anyone want to share? You don't have to. Oh, no, we do.
I can talk through what I'm
Sure, yeah,
thinking,
please.
like,
Please, I would
it's
love
still
to.
a work in progress
Yes,
here.
of course.
But my hips like to be wide, my feet naturally like to kind of go out a little bit. So definitely wanted to do that. And I think with coming into it, I was kind of playing with being like a little indirect, but still using the large movement. So just being largely indirect. And let's see, we start with the left foot, correct?
Oh, it doesn't have to do with choice.
Oh, it doesn't matter, okay.
No.
But I was thinking about like kind of like the surprise of using this more like I don't know, I almost wanted to flip it to be like a sword at first and then it's like, surprise!
That's great.
I'm just a little more.
That's great, I like that.
And then, you know, just kind of from here, I see then it goes out, right? Out first? Out first.
Opening up, yeah. Opening
Yeah.
up.
So opening up, and then together, and then I was trying to figure out like maybe coming around this way to close this.
That works, yeah, that's lovely.
And then ultimately I might go on this last one to be a death drop, but I don't want to hurt my knees.
That's
so. Because then it's like with the opening, and then maybe like here, and then we want to do like BAM!
That would be amazing. I would love to see a death drop in the middle. Oh, man, teachers would lose their minds. It'd be so funny. Yeah, I like that. I love the way you were able to really explore like how to make the couple or how to make the movements work for you. And the intentionality you were bringing behind is lovely. And if you would like to share anything, you don't have to. No big deal.
I don't know, like naturally I just felt like I kind of wanted to use it as a shield.
That's an interesting answer
Kind
too.
of like defend.
I like that. And we do actually occasionally use this as shield. When we're doing it as a shield though, this is the cool one. So instead of here, we flip it out and grab it by the large bone in here. And so, not this one, turn it another, rotate it out. There you go, like this. This is conventionally how we would use it as a shield. But yeah, I love that instinct of using it as a shield, of just defending yourself with it. It's a great way to go about things. What else, did you have anything else?
That was it.
Yeah, it was fine. That's great. I love that. Just the exploration of the object. And the fan in no is anything related to it. It could be anything. This could be as direct as the replacement of a naginata. It could be a serving tray. If we want to carry something, this can be, it can be the symbolic representation of flowers, if we're looking at it that way. It
Could be a wig.
It could be a wig. There is actually one piece where this is used to manipulate the hat that the character is wearing. So yeah, those are totally things the fan could be. Or there's another equal dance where this actually is your hat.